My guest today is Vivi Marks, who is an energy psychologist with a scientific background. She is also an expert who works with money blocks, which I think many people today will be very interested in finding out about. So welcome, Vivi.
Hello, thank you for having me.
It's really,
Hi.
absolutely really lovely to catch up with you because it's been a little while, hasn't it?
Yeah, my pleasure. All this quarantine and everything went through, but now we're fine.
Yeah. And I just think it's such an important time for us to begin to work on these money blocks because, you know, a lot of things have changed in the
Exactly.
world, I think, at this point in time. And I think we have to look at anything that's holding us back in life to achieve what we want to achieve, isn't it, really?
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
with that being said, how would you describe a money block? What would be your kind of definition of a money block, Vivi?
Money blocks can be thoughts, beliefs, attitudes, behaviors, anything that can block us, anything that can get into the way of achieving financial success. So I want to ask you, this is a good question. I want you to tell me 3 words that money represents for you. So what is money for you?
Fun.
This is a very good question. You will see why.
Fun. Actually, strangely enough, happiness, but I don't link everything to money and happiness, but I do link poverty to not being so happy.
Yeah, I guess so.
My third one, money. Yeah, the word love it comes in a weird way. So
Sorry, what is? I didn't hear
it.
you.
I like it. I like money. I like having it because if you've got money,
Did you?
I like having money. Yeah. If you have money, you can choose to share it, give it as gifts. You can do a lot of positive things with money, I think. And so I think there can be a nice aspect to it. So then there are 3 things. Fun. What was the second one I said?
Fun, happiness.
It can be. I mean, as in the opposite being if you haven't got it, you don't always feel that great, do you, when you're struggling to survive, you know?
Yes.
The third one, I kind of love it for the fact that, you know, I like buying gifts for my daughters. I like taking them places, all of that kind of stuff. And, you know, I think it's nice to be able to use it in a positive way to help people. So, so now you've got that. You've got them little screws to get down to my deeper self.
Yes. So would you say about your third option, would you say that it's freedom of choice? All right.
It does come down to freedom for me. You're very right.
Yeah.
I'm very strong on freedom of choice. I like being able to do what I want to do and not, I suppose another word might come in, controlled or told what to do.
Yes. This is how we start, because when you ask this question, many people are coming up with this kind of answers. But if you start digging, then you come up with different, answers. Now, why this is happening? What is behind most money blocks are 2 things: either a limiting belief or an unexpressed emotion. Right? So let's say that let's work on freedom. Why do you think, if you don't have money, what do you think, or if you have less money, okay, that means you are going to be restricted in some way, but in general you are free to go. You can open the door and go anywhere you like. You are not that restricted. So
I don't know right now.
Well, yeah, but still you can go out.
I understand your point. Yes.
yeah. I know what you mean. So many people now, if you ask them, especially now in this period of time, they may say that money represents freedom for them. All right. So why we do that? Like I said, either is a limiting belief, just because we think maybe we're not powerful enough, maybe we are feeling that we are not strong, or we're not free, or there is an aspect in ourselves that we feel we are limited in some way. For example, it can be the color of my skin, it can be, I don't know, my gender, my sexuality, it can be anything.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a way to express an aspect of ourselves that we think that we are limited in some way. Why we use money or our financial situation to express that? Because these two have some kind of similarity. I'll explain why. The other thing is what we said, an unexpressed emotion. Many people I have worked with, actually, they were telling me the same thing. I'm afraid I'm going to lose money. And then when we're using EFT to go deep, we're finding fear of abandonment.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were working straight to the fear of abandonment. The moment we were clearing the fear of abandonment, then the relationship with money was changing entirely. All right. So I've discovered that this is something we always do. Why we didn't express our emotions back in the past? Maybe it wasn't the right time to process them. But when we find the right situation through our financial situation or any other situation, then this is when we express it. So it can be when we say freedom of choice, for example, maybe there was a time in your life when you were not feeling free. Maybe you're expressing emotions, all right, your feelings about that time when you're feeling restricted.
Mm-hmm.
So there you are. Maybe this is the reason why, because if you went through a period when you didn't have much money, all right, and you're feeling restricted and scared and worried, maybe you haven't cleared all those emotions. That's why you think that money represents freedom. Yeah. Go ahead.
I would say, though, there is a certain truth to my thing as well, isn't it? Because if you don't have money, you're not free to do too many things in life. But I would also say you're probably right about the idea of freedom and why it's so important to me. Because I would say that growing up, I think the area where I grew up, there wasn't really a great sense of freedom there. And then there was a lot of controlling that went on. If you go back into the historical stuff in the UK, a lot more restrictive. At least my experience was.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that we seem to have become more open, but with what's going on right now, there seems to be a huge clampdown on freedom as well. So I think you're probably right that I can see how them two things would link together with what you're saying here. So go on, analyze me further.
Yeah. So if we were to work on that, okay, we would have explored what happened in that period of your life. Using EFT, you trained me, I know. So yeah, we'll use EFT. So I'm sure there is a period of your life, some feelings you haven't expressed about that period. That's why you chose the word freedom.
Oh yeah, and probably so because yeah, definitely a lot of things in my early life would link into freedom, I think, for sure. So always been a big thing for me. I like to be very free. So if you were then, so what you're saying is, so we're dealing with money, yeah, and how people have interact with money and how they may limit their abilities to attract money to themselves. And what you're doing is going right underneath that.
Yes, exactly.
All right, where's the root of this coming? Because that's kind of just a reflection of this that's gone on for you. You're going right down deep and dirty there with it. Whoa, straightforward.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
And you're finding out what emotional things people have going on in the deep background, and you're clearing that. Yeah,
exactly.
And what would happen then if you were to go down there, say with someone like myself? What would you expect to happen for me then? How would this play out in my life?
You mean after we identify what is the root cause, or we're going to use EFT to clear it?
And then what would happen? Because not everyone who listens here has a huge knowledge of EFT and how it works. So to kind of give that knowledge. So once you clear these emotions with EFT, what would be your expectation for me? What would you say typically would happen with people?
What I find is happening is that people have a totally different understanding of their past. They're feeling a lot, lighter. Obviously, we don't stop just on clearing those emotions, all right? The other thing we do, in a way, we install new positive beliefs about money. So, for example, let's say that you have this limiting belief that money doesn't grow on trees, all right? This is a very common one, all right? Why do you have this belief? You know, you have to clear this belief. What is happening after that? You start realizing that you were limiting yourself in such a way, and that meant that you weren't able to see all your options. Okay, and most of the times we're not looking for one limiting belief, we're looking for linked limiting beliefs. Sometimes money doesn't grow on trees, may go with I'm not good enough, or I cannot do whatever I want, you know. So if you think that you are not good enough, that means that you won't look for new opportunities. And even if you find all these new opportunities, you wouldn't do anything. You would either avoid it or, you know, pretend it's not there in some way.
Or perhaps even not see it's there, because
Yes.
you know the power of beliefs and how they filter the information we're able to take inside of ourselves, isn't it, really?
Exactly.
You know, I think what you're saying is that opportunity could be right in front of me. But if I haven't got the right beliefs to grab hold of it, or even to see it, I'm somehow going to go round it. There's nothing happening in my life.
Yes, exactly.
You know.
If you think, for example, that you are not good with technology, all right, and just because you have this belief, because you develop this belief when you got your first smartphone, and then you realize, oh, I'm not good with technology, so I don't want to do anything with that. And then you want to become an entrepreneur in this era. You need to feel comfortable with technology because everything is online. All right. So this limiting belief that I'm not good with technology will be limiting you, and in such a way that some things are, you know, so easy to do. Many platforms are so simple. So you just need to change a few things, you know. So you need to clear that. You need to clear that, and same applies to money as well.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen so many people have a belief system around technology. And you're very right. We are coming into an era when it's becoming more and more reliant on technology. And I think if you're not able to kind of handle that, you're at a huge disadvantage, really, attracting finance, money, success to yourself. But I see people who come to technology, and the moment they see it, it's like their mind goes woof, overwhelmed.
Yes.
And, you know, because they have that belief structure behind it, you know. And yeah, and equally, the other way that a belief like that would impact you is you wouldn't even get near the technology because you'd have procrastination.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. And the answer is very simple, you know. Hire someone to do these things for you. If you don't have the money, you can always have an exchange. I mean, when I've started, I didn't have the money to pay for an expert, you know, someone who specializes in social media. So I just offered an exchange. I did EFT to him, and he did some of my setups of my platforms, you know. So that works really well. You can always do that.
The beauty of that is because you didn't have that limiting belief on it, isn't it, really?
Yes.
If you had of, you wouldn't have thought of that way of working around it.
Yeah, exactly.
I think limiting beliefs do exactly what they say, they limit us.
Yes. So back to money blocks,
Yeah.
let me give you an example. If you think that you shouldn't be charging for your services, or if you think that you need to offer help, but not in exchange of money, that means that you will be charging just a little money for, and then you see that after the session that someone has had with you has a tremendous change in their lives, and you had charged them like only, I don't know, 40 pounds, 30 pounds, just because you were feeling you had this money block that you shouldn't be offering help in exchange of money. So this is a huge money block.
I've seen, yeah, yeah, for sure. I think a lot of people within the helping profession have that money block. It's a very, very common kind of block within our profession. And I've actually seen therapists or trainee therapists burst into tears and feel totally overwhelmed at the thought of charging anyone anything for their services.
Mhm.
It's such an extreme reaction, and it's so I think it is fairly common in this profession that people will have those kind of blocks. But it's also from a psychology point of view, if you don't charge people so they get your services for free, we judge how effective something is or how worthwhile it is sometimes on the price that's charged, isn't it? It's all
Exactly.
psychology, isn't it? So if you charge £10, your colleague down the road charges £50, they will think they're better than you.
Yes, yes, exactly. And there's another thing that when I've realized it, I was like, oh my God, why this is happening? In Greece here, all right, because of the financial crisis, we have many excuses. When you go to therapy, many people are charging only 20 or 30 euros for a session, all right, which is, for me, it's nothing. And if you go to England, all right, what is the average session? It's about 70, let's say, £70.
I think there's quite a big a range of prices, but
Mm-hmm.
£70 wouldn't be extreme in the UK. Hmm.
Yes, let's say £80,
Hmm.
like an average. But if you go to the United States, it's going to be 250. So if you see the differences, I mean, I don't think it's fair, to be honest, you know? So in that case, what you need to do is to choose your audience in some way. Um, there are options. This is what I'm trying to say here. There are options.
Yeah, but definitely that you, as you say, it's about shifting your money block so that you actually feel comfortable charging, or say if you're selling your services, so you feel comfortable um, getting the amount of money back for the type of the help you're giving out there, that you feel good with, and your clients feel good with. It's about that as well, isn't it? Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. So the example I used is more about to see how people are charging in different countries, and maybe you're doing exactly the same, work. Um, Fair or not, this is happening. We accept that this is the situation. But if you have money blocks, okay, no matter where you are, you're gonna charge the minimum.
Mm. I would also put out there that even though those money differentials happen right across in different
Mm-hmm.
countries, more than likely, if you were to work with someone from your country who's charging far less, they're probably of very high quality. They're probably really good at what they do. So it's more to do with that kind of how money is thought about, etc., in different
Mm-hmm.
places. Not generally about the quality of work they do, is it really?
Exactly. So that's why I feel it's important to, when you start working as an EFT practitioner or any other job, is very, very important to clear all these money blocks. All these blocks are going to limit you in many, many ways. You won't be looking for the right help, all right? If you think that someone is very expensive, you wouldn't even ask them for, I don't know, for the services, or uh, if sometimes you can change or fix something even with just one question, maybe you wouldn't do that if you have all these money blocks. That's why I think it's very, very important to clear everything and before you start, actually, or you can clear them as you go.
All right. So, um, looking at, you showed us at the very beginning how you would begin to work on some blocks by
Mm-hmm.
asking some very, very simple questions, and then looking at what are the big emotional things that this person
Mm-hmm.
connects to the idea of money, and how might that be limiting them, and then where does that come from? Yeah, where
Mm-hmm.
did they learn? Where did that begin in their lives? And then you're going down there, you're clearing it with the EFT. So, um, so how would you, if you're looking at that, and I know how EFT works. So Give me an example of that. Give me an example of how you would clear maybe a limiting belief or whatever, tapping on it or whatever you do. Mm-hmm.
So I guess that the people are watching us are familiar with EFT, all right?
Some of them, yes, yeah.
Some of them, all right, okay. I think I always start with these three questions, because if you start these three questions in the beginning, you always have a good idea where you're going, all right? So the moment you're gonna say, if you're gonna use your clients, obviously, words, and if they say, for example, let's say that someone says, oh, I'm afraid I'm gonna lose money, okay, I'm afraid I'm gonna lose them, I cannot really live without money, you know, even the words they use to explain the problem, you know exactly that they lost something. You know, they fear of losing something, all right? So if you start tapping on that, they will feel straight away they're gonna get either an image sometimes, all right?
Get what?
Sorry?
I didn't catch that word.
Yes, they may get a memory or an image, they may get a feeling, or some of them, they get the connection. They understand straight away that the way they feel is connected to something else that happened long time ago, all right? So most of the times, that varies according to the client. The moment you'll understand that this is connected to event from your childhood, maybe when you were abandoned, you start clearing, all right? And when I say clearing, you just use EFT in order to clear all those emotions. The more you tap, the emotions go down, all right? And at the end of a few rounds, the client will feel relieved. They're gonna feel, you know, lighter. They may have a different understanding about what happened back then. This is a nice way of clearing it. Then what I do personally, I do two things actually. Either I'm gonna start doing some positive rounds and replacing actually that emotion that if I lose money, I'm gonna lose everything. I cannot really live without money. Something like with no matter if I lose money, I'm gonna be fine anyway. You know, it's more like an acceptance situation, just to make them feel comfortable. And then I'm gonna continue with positive rounds by installing that I'm able to deal with any situation. I can do absolutely fine. I'm strong. I'm powerful. You know, this kind of power words.
It's
That
more
helps a
like
lot.
embedding some kind of
Exactly.
statements with a lot more positive kind of energy behind them.
Yes, I've noticed that just doing the clearing is not enough. I believe that all these positive rounds at the end are very, very powerful. And sometimes what I do is that I'm creating short hypnosis. Then I'm sending it to the client to hear it until the next session. And that helps a lot. And yeah, this is how I work in general. Yeah.
Do you have any stories you can actually share with us, Vivi? Any success stories of your approach with people?
I have many success stories.
Just choose some really lovely little ones that you have permission to share, you know.
Sure, yeah. Do you money related or in general?
Well, since we're dealing with money blocks, let's be related to money and blocks.
Okay. I had a client. She lost her husband 2 years ago, and she said that after he died, she started having all these financial problems. And what happened was, when we started tapping on, I lost all this money. I lost everything. I lost all the support. Actually, what she did, she was expressing her grief about her husband's loss, you know, about his death. The moment we cleared the grief, all right, everything changed, and she felt so much better because she was capable to deal with her finances. She wasn't solely dependent on her husband. But the moment we did that, she felt totally differently, you know, and she had accumulated a debt, and it took her like 6 months to repay everything and start feeling better. So that was a success story. She was just expressing her grief.
And a very beautiful one as well, because it is the law of attraction as well, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You change your energy system, it will bring different things and attract different things to you. So thank you for sharing that. And I think you also said you were happy to share some tips for new entrepreneurs who are going into business related to money blocks. Do you have any tips you could share with that? Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that before they obviously some general tips. Once they know where they're going, they know their niche and what they need to create. All right. I think they need to clear all the fears they have about, because being an entrepreneur, it's going to trigger many emotions around I don't belong, I'm on my own, I have no one to support me, I can't do this, I'm not powerful enough. So it's not about clearing money blocks or use money blocks in order to clear everything, all the limiting beliefs they have about themselves. And I think because every time you need to take a step forward, you'll be feeling all this resistance and all this, fear. It's going to be really, really hard. But if you are committed and work on clearing all that, you're going to move forward. Many people quit, to be honest with you, just because they haven't done all this work. But if you are committed on, moving forward, you need to clear all this and take all the bad situations as, not as lessons, but as a good opportunity to clear more and more and more. And yeah, I think these are my tips. Very, very important.
Absolutely. I went into creating my own business at roughly about 21 years old. So in all that time, I've basically run my own businesses. So I'm very aware of what you're saying there. When you are, or you step into that world of running your own business, especially if you've maybe been working for other people and then you come into this world, there's a lot to clear really as you move forward, because you will come up with a lot of challenges. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And as you said, a lot of people give up, but the thing is, it is about that way of looking at this, that each challenge is something you can clear, and each thing you clear takes you one step closer to where you want to be. That's one of the most, I think, important type of kind of beliefs you need to have when you go into this kind of thing, is there's no failure, only feedback.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, this is a great opportunity, to clear more and more and more, and don't stop. And I'm sure that you're gonna have the help you need, because many people are willing to help you. Always ask for exchange, because you can offer EFT, they can offer you something else, and be brave. And it's okay if you fail. It's okay. And what is failure? Okay, it's going to take you, I don't know, nothing.
I would say though, if you don't, failure, it's not failure, it's feedback.
No,
It
it's not.
might be the feedback is it's not
Feedback.
working what you're doing right now.
Yes, exactly.
If you think of it in that way, it doesn't knock you so badly that it stops you doing it. If you think, all right, I've got some feedback off of that, wasn't so nice, but let's clear it.
Exactly.
Because things are very clearable, and that's the beauty of something like EFT. And thank you for sharing all your information here today. I know you're actually producing the product as well, and you're going to be putting it out there. What's the name of your product, Vivi?
The name of my product is Understand and Remove Money Blocks. And this is, the conversation is very relevant to what I have done there. So my product is that it's going to ask you the 3 questions, but I'm not stopping there. The whole product is based on so many questions there. So it will force you to go deep. You have no options. It's going to make you feel uncomfortable. All right. But I believe that if someone starts working on it, okay, and answer these questions, they're gonna have a very good idea about their money blocks. Once you know what your money blocks are, it's very easy to clear them. Very easy.
Brilliant. I think money blocks can have a much bigger impact on you if they're almost invisible to you.
Exactly.
They
Yeah.
have a lot of power when they're invisible because they kind of just control your behavior without you realizing that you are being controlled by those kind of things. But then when, as you say, when they become visible, when you can see them, when they're identified, you're just a very simple step away from clearing them then, I think.
Exactly. And also in my product, I included EFT scripts. The NLP anchoring technique is a very good technique when you want to attract something fast when it comes to money. And affirmations, positive affirmations about money. So I think it's like a complete product. It takes you, really deep. It helps you connect with your fears, and it takes you down to the root, and then it helps you replace all these limiting beliefs.
So
Everything that is limiting you.
thank you very much for that. I have no doubt it will be fabulous. So I'm going to put all lilies.
Vivis.
Vivi's, yeah?
Yeah.
I think I'm kind of in a repetitive loop here.
No worries, it's fine.
I'm going to put Vivi's information up on the guest page on my website, and because I think this will be a really, really good kind of thing to do if you want to be successful in business, if you want to be successful as an entrepreneur. This is a brilliant way to get in there, clear the blocks out that if you don't clear are going to make that journey really, really hard.
Yes.
So I will put a link across this video so you can find how to get in touch with Vivi and find out how to get at her product, because I'm sure you're all biting at the bit.
Fantastic.
With that being said, thank you very much
Thank you very, very much.
From joining me from sunny Greece, isn't it, at the moment?
No, actually it's raining today.
Oh, well, then in that
it's
case,
very hot there.
I'm joining you from sunny UK because it's not
Oh
raining.
my God, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Going in my garden with the sunbed is hot over
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll all
Oh
be
my
coming
God.
over here next, won't you? Greece to the UK, to sunny UK.
It doesn't sound nice.
I didn't think so.
Very strange.
Yeah. With that being said, can I say absolutely thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Tania.
I
Thank you
love
very,
what
very
you
much.
went through, and thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much as well. You're very welcome.